Hey guys. So today I really just wanted to talk about um, keto and essentially keto for beginners, and how to really start off your keto journey. There's been so much talk about keto lately. A lot of the TV shows are talking about it. It's everywhere, right? And so I wanted to kind of go on live real quick and talk to my followers, my team, my subscribers, essentially about how to really start your keto journey so that it you stick to it, right? Because so many people start doing keto and don't necessarily stick to keto for a long period of time, or at least long enough to reach your goals. And that's something that I've done. I've reached my goals doing keto. So I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about, how you can do that too. Um, and so one of the things that hey pretty doves, oh my gosh, I can't read all of a sudden. Yeah, she's mentioned that she's starting her keto journey on Monday. And I actually have a challenge to start Monday too, funny enough, where I'm showing folks how to do keto and guiding them through it. And the thing is, with keto, it's tough to stick to it at first. When you're going straight from eating normal foods every day and what we normally eat, which includes a lot of bread, a lot of rice, a lot of, all these different things. And we try and go from that, all these carbs, essentially, sugars, sweets, everything. And we go from that to, essentially no sugar, staying at around, 20 carbs. Hey, thanks, sunflower. But staying around 20 carbs a day is really, really hard to do. So I'm trying to give here in this kind of live, I want to give some tips at least on, what worked for me in terms of ensuring that I started my keto diet the right way, or my keto journey, I should say, the right way, and then I was able to stick to it. So one of the things is, excuse me, I actually eased into keto. I didn't jump right into, hey, day one, I'm eating regular foods. Day two, I am eating 20 carbs a day. I actually eased into it. I went from, probably brownies, whatever it was that I was eating. I love brownies, so I always talk about brownies. But whatever it was I was eating, I went from that to, kind of just watching my carbs over time, slowly watching my carbs. And then I gradually got down to about 20 carbs a day. Right. But it was, when I say gradually, it wasn't like I went from, 200 carbs a day to, 199 tomorrow. It was like I gradually went down in my carbs by just kind of, for about a month, I watched what I ate, and just tried to slowly kind of remove carbs after a certain time. So after 5 o'clock, 5 p.m., I'd stop eating carbs. And then, before 5, I'd have my oatmeal, I'd have whatever it was I was eating, but then stop after 5 o'clock. And then once I actually got into keto, it was easier for me because I was used to not eating carbs after a certain time. So that's one way to do it, especially if you're going to do kind of a moderate fat keto. It's probably a great idea to transition into it. Now, if you're doing a high fat keto, honestly, it is a little easier to transition into keto, because when you're doing high fat keto, you're not as hungry, right? Because I started off in a moderate fat keto. That's why I'm mentioning this. When you're doing a high fat keto, you're not as hungry, because fats fill you up like nobody's business. Fats, and then of course proteins. You won't be nearly as hungry, so you can sometimes avoid the cravings that you used to have. But a lot of it is mind over matter, honestly. Mm-hmm. So when you're thinking about those different things, that sometimes you're eating something because you want to eat it, not necessarily because you are craving it or you're actually hungry, right? And that's a tough place to understand and to get to when we first start keto, because we're used to being able to eat whenever we want. So if you're just starting your journey, pretty doves, I would say, think about how you want to do it. You can transition into it, or if you're going high fat keto from start, I don't know if you have help, if you have like someone helping you along the way, things like that. But if you're going no carbs, no carbs. And I mean, healthy ones are vegetables. That's it. Those are the only healthy carbs, honestly, in keto, right? When you're eating keto, healthy carbs are vegetables, and that's it. But if you're going straight for it, I would suggest that when you're doing it, you go high fat at the beginning. I don't know if you're doing a high fat keto or not, but I would suggest going high fat at the beginning. And the reason why is because then you're not fighting hunger and the mind choices of, oh my goodness, and your mind, which is trying to tell you that you want certain things because you're used to eating them. Now all you're doing is you're fighting, your mind alone, right? And then you have to start setting little tricks for yourself. And the tricks can be anything from, anytime I decide that I want to eat something, then what I need to do is take a breath, think about what I'm going to eat, think about what I want to do. Am I actually hungry or am I thirsty? You have to actually get to know your body. One of the things that I tell my clients, and I'm telling folks in this challenge that I'm doing, is learn. You have to learn to listen to your body. And it's a really hard thing to do. Because we were taught a long time ago not to listen to our body, like literally from birth. We're taught, somebody is stuffing food in our mouths constantly. What is high fat? Essentially, high fat is about 70%, 70 to 75%, depending on how you do it, of your calorie intake comes from food. Comes from fat. Comes from food. That's funny. 70% of your calorie intake, of the calories that you eat for the day, comes from food. And then usually about 20, if you do 70, then 25 will come from protein and 5% from carbs. If you do 75% from fats, then 20% is going to come from proteins and 5% from carbs. But you don't usually sway away from that 5% from carbs, and you don't usually. But the 20 to 25% protein and 70 to 75% fat, a lot of times can depend on how much you work out, how much water you're drinking, all these different things. Shaki is mentioning that she wants to, Shaky, I'm assuming, I don't know why I said Shaki. Shaky is mentioning that she wants to start keto, but she works nights. There are ways to do keto and still work nights. I just did that math completely wrong. Yes, 75%, 25%, and 5%. That is high fat. Yes, high fat. And then some people will do, 70% fats, and then 20. No, wait, that's not right. No, your math is wrong. My math was right. Your math is wrong. Pretty dubs. I'm sorry. It's not 75%. It's, if you're going to do 75% fats, you do 20% carbs and 5%. 20% proteins and 5% carbs. You wouldn't think I was an engineer by by that math situation just now. I'm sorry. So yeah, that's a higher fat, 75% fat. And that's actually kind of the ideal way to do it. Even if you want to go a little higher in fats, depending on what your current diet is always a great thing. Thank you for liking the post. I need some likes on my live. Someone was telling me that it helps to elevate some things in YouTube. But so what's high fat? I'm looking at the other questions. You want to start, but you work nights. So I have a client right now who works nights. And what we do is we just work on her eating schedule, like what time she wants to eat. The ideal situation is usually, if you work nights, to eat during the evening, during the nights, right? While you're working. And that kind of be the window that you eat, because your sleep schedule is different when you work nights, right? And especially if I don't know if you're a nurse or something and you work nights. When you're a nurse, I know that if you work nights, a lot of times you'll do it'll be like a 4-3. And so now you're 4 nights a week, you're working at night, and then 3 nights, you're not working. So now it kind of changes up your schedule. So that's also something to think about. Do you think that drinking water helps lower weight? How much? So drinking water is a huge part of, especially the ketogenic diet. You want to make sure that you're doing, that you're drinking a lot of water. It helps to remove the toxins from your body. It helps to release different things. It actually helps the fat flow through your system better. It really helps to detoxify, especially when you're trying to get rid of sugars, and it helps you to stay hydrated. One thing with keto is we can lose hydration. So we have to ensure that we're getting our electrolytes. Frankly, that happens in general. Even if you're not keto, people don't realize how dehydrated they truly are. We're as a society in general not drinking enough water. You're supposed to drink about half your body weight in water, and most people are not doing that. So like I literally have this. I don't know if you can see it. I think you can see it. It's the numbers have worn off at this point because I use it so much. But this is about almost 50 ounces of water. And I drink 3 to 4 of these a day. Because for me, I started drinking that much when I was 330 pounds, right? And then I just never stopped, because now if I don't drink it, now I'm thirsty. So I have to drink this much water just about every day. So it's really quite important. How do I feel about apple cider vinegar and lemon water? So apple cider vinegar, I'm sorry, I have to drink some. Apple cider vinegar is a staple. And for me, it is, in terms of supplements. It's something I use every day. I think it helps with constipation that a lot of folks will deal with on keto. It helps with, it also helps when it comes to, your body trying to be in a more alkaline place. It helps with so many different things. It helps with our hair. I mean, it helps with so many things, apple cider vinegar. So I'm a huge fan of it. Lemon is fine in terms of flavoring things. You can flavor different things with lemon when you're on keto, just because lemon is not extremely higher in carbs. So it's a very good thing to start with. Pretty Doves, I don't know if you've seen my keto challenge, but it might be a really good way to help you kind of start your journey. We started the Facebook page or Facebook group. We've already started some things so far, but the first weigh-in is January 7th. So that's actually the official first date. I think I have a link in my description, in the description of this video. I think there should be a link in the description of this video. Like if you close the chat down a little bit for a second, you can see like all the stuff, and then you can reopen the chat and you'll be able to see it. Yeah, because I mean, I think it's a really good challenge. You're going to get a full like keto education. My hair looks better with on the side. That was so vain. I'm so ridiculous. You're going to get a good keto education in this challenge. You're going to get full knowledge on how to do keto, and you're also, because you're going to get my book, my book, The Guide to Ketosis, and you're also going to get my video book, which is essentially going through the book and over-explaining some different things and providing examples and things like that throughout the book. So those are some of the things that you'll get. And also you can win a prize. You can win money, not just a prize. You can win money. It's a cash prize. So basically the way it works is a portion of the registration goes to a pot, and then the top 3 winners split that pot. So I think it's kind of cool, at least. You also get a meal plan and some other things, but it's a very supportive situation too. Weekly weigh-ins, the whole bit, to really get you started and keep you going for that month. And then you move forward from there. If you want to join another challenge, or if you want to just keep going on your own, it's golden, because you've already got what you need. You got that foundation to get started. I'm huge on foundation. Like, that's a big thing to me. I think that just in life, you want to set your foundation first and then grow from there. No matter what it is that you're doing. I think it's for the challenge. It's $55 for the challenge, and then $15 of that goes into the pot. Right now, the pot is over $500. So, it's a pretty good pot for the challenge. And so that pot goes to 3 winners, actually. It's split amongst 3 winners. The top percentage weight loss gets 50%. The second highest gets 35%, and then 15% goes to amongst people who are the most engaged. So based on you doing weekly weigh-ins and some different things, you can put in your name, be put in a pot, and then we'll pull from that pot, and that's the winner. So there's different options like that. So that's kind of what's going on there. But yeah, so let's talk more about keto. I don't know if you guys can hear that background. All of a sudden the kids got home and they're yelling. Okay, nope, it's gone now. So my husband's out there with them, so that's fine. But so what did you say? Do you think drinking water? Yes. Oh, Shaky was mentioning that she works 12-hour shifts. So yeah, I would say choose that as your eating window, because that's going to help you the most. Sorry, give me 1 second. Yes, Gab. Yes, sweetie. Yes, go ahead. You can have it. Oh my goodness. That was a screaming match. Sorry. I have 4 kids. I don't know if I've told you guys, anybody who's seen my videos previously, I have 4 kids. So, and that actually, I was over 300 pounds before I even had any children. So I can't even blame the children on my weight gain. It was me. It was my eating habits growing up. It was little things. And I talk about this sometimes in my videos. Some of the things that I remember as a kid, I've always been a competitive person and also a people pleaser. So as a child, there was always this thing called a happy plate, right? So if you ate all your food, you had a happy plate, and then there was also the, hey, if you don't eat, the kids in Africa, they need food and blah, blah, whatever. Anyway, so that's what we were told as kids, right? So I always cleaned my plate. And, I remember my cousin not cleaning her plate and I'd be like, oh, I beat her. I won because my plate's clean. Oh, sunflower, thank you so much. I just saw that. Thank you so much for donating. That really means a lot. Because I do this to try and help people too. Thank you so much. But yeah, so, as I pushed through, for me as a kid, I remember always wanting to clean my plate. That was the winner. The person who cleaned their plate was the one who won. And it always stayed with me that I always had to clean my plate. So I'd go to dinners with folks from work and things like that, and I would clean my plate, and I'd be the only one with a clean plate. And after a while, I start thinking, oh my goodness, I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be, I shouldn't be going so far. I shouldn't be eating so much, but I'd still do it because something in me, it was like in my brain that I needed to clean my plate. So just, thinking about those things, especially now with my children, I tell them they do not have to eat all their food. I actually let them know that what I want them to do is ensure that they eat their vegetables. As long as you eat your vegetables, you're good. Everything else is fine. Everything else, if you leave it, it's fine. I remember my husband at first was pushing to eat everything. And I was like, no, I don't want them to and now, sadly, it's probably in me to think about, oh my goodness, I don't want them to overeat. Now that's like a part of my mentality because I'm so afraid. I was always afraid that they would end up doing the similar things that I did. So, it's probably not the best way to look at it either, but I don't want to, I'm also, it's always a slippery slope. And it's always like, as a parent, you're always weighing your options, weighing things out to see which is the best way to go. So I never want it to be a thing where we're always talking about foods and things like that. I just want it to just be something that we model and something we talk about it. We talk about the fact that, oh, it's healthy to eat these apples, or it's healthy to eat, to eat our vegetables, right? It's healthy to have kale and, and they're used to eating that in their diets, and they're used to their smoothies, which is like 90% kale and a little bit of apples and blueberries, and they love it. But I want them to know that that's how they should be eating just in life so that they continue to grow in that way. So sorry, little sidebar on me and my kids, my family. I tend to elaborate sometimes on in a different way. Sorry. Okay. So let me see. My son is the same way. Everything is a race. And now we're struggling with his weight at 9. Yeah. So Rebecca, at 9 years old, I was 180 pounds. Wait, yeah, no, not 180. Sorry. I was 160 pounds at 9 years old, 135 at 8 years old. So I know exactly, how you feel about that and what you mean, and so I would suggest at least try not to make it a thing if you can, because honestly, I wonder if making it a thing in my family, like I went to see a nutritionist at 8 years old because the doctors told my mom, my parents to take me to a nutritionist. And so they took me and they had me write down everything I ate and all these different things. And, for me, I did it, but I also thought about it like, this is because I'm fat. This is because I'm fat, So I would say if you can, try not to make it a thing. And when I say a thing, making it like a big, oh, we can't eat this, we have to eat that, but kind of just introduce things and then don't have the bad stuff around. So like keep chips out of the house, keep ice cream out of the house, keep things that you don't want him to eat out of the house. Yeah, he'll see it other places, but then like when they see it other places, you can have conversations about it. Like for us, our kids don't eat McDonald's at all. And so just because we just always heard bad things about McDonald's. And so what's funny is it's gotten to the point where they're like, ew, mommy, your sister went to McDonald's the other day. Why would she ever go there? And so it's like they know that it's just something they don't do. So we tried not to make stuff a big deal, but we just kind of mention it in passing and deal with it along the way. But it's just something to always think about, especially with our children. So I know that's tough. So let me see. What are some of the things you do to stay motivated when you get down? Oh, so for me, trying to stay motivated when I get down, some of the things that I will do is, well, I work out a lot. So that kind of helps me to like clear my mind and stuff sometimes. But really, in terms of motivation to stay down, honestly, looking at my kids and knowing that I'm doing this for them, because just knowing that there's someone that's not only watching everything that I do and mimicking it and modeling it, but also that I want to be here with them. I want to be here with my husband. I want to be here with my family. I want to be here for them. And I want to live life. I want to travel more. You know, I've never been to Asia. I've never been to the continent of Africa, and I've never been to the continent of Australia. Those are 3 places that I've always wanted to go. And I'm like, I need to be here in order to go there, right? So there are just different things like that that keep me motivated. Also, sometimes looking at where I was and how far I've come. And YouTube and Instagram keeps me motivated. I know that sounds crazy, but just being, honestly, I get energy. I derive some energy, and I thank you guys for that, because I actually derive energy and motivation from doing live streams and from doing videos and seeing all of you guys, you know, and really being able to help others to get healthy as well. But then also just kind of looking at how far I've come and saying, I don't ever want to be that person again. You know, because one of my biggest fears, honestly, just getting a little deep inside of me, I guess, is that I would get back to that size again. You know, it's terrifying. So I think about it, and I think about what I need to do. And I'm like, I can't eat this, or I have to eat this, or I have to stick with this lifestyle. I have to stick with this in order to move forward. So, but back to keto, sorry. What are some keto snacks? So some of my favorite keto snacks are like, cheese, obviously, but I only eat organic cheese because I'm lactose intolerant, and oddly, organic cheese doesn't affect me the way regular cheese used to. But then I also like these. There's these little turkey snacks from Aldi that I get, and it's like turkey sausages, little mini turkey sausages, and it's so overprocessed and probably not great for you, but it's really low. It's like 1 carb. So it's really low in carbs. So I will do those on occasion. Celery is always a good one. Almonds, but you have to be careful about portion sizes, because if we overdo it with our almonds, we're way over on our carbs. Avocados is a great keto snack. So there's so many different keto snacks that we can do. I also do a full fat yogurt with a little bit of peanut butter and some stevia. And then one of my favorite keto snacks, like that manages my hunger on keto, is my bulletproof coffee. So I always have, like, I just finished this cup, so but I have my bulletproof coffee that I drink all the time. I love this thing. I'll have it maybe once, maybe twice a day if I'm really starving and you know, or if I don't have enough fats, or I don't feel like I've gotten enough fats in, I'll have it twice a day. Bulletproof coffee, there's like butter in it and MCT oil and some different things. So I'll do that sometimes too. Let me see. So if I have to be at work at 7, you saying I should eat throughout the night. I get off at 7 a.m. Yes. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would make that, especially if you sleep during the day, I would make the nighttime your window to eat. Like, if you think about it, most people do their eating during their work hours, you know, and their work hours are usually during the day, but I mean, yours are in the evening. But I would say that I do my meals then. That's what my client who works nights does. She would eat her meals at night, basically. And then her last meal she'd usually eat right when she got home from work. But she didn't go to bed until, so let's say she got home at 6 a.m. She wouldn't go to bed until 10 a.m. So her sleeping hours were like that. So she was able to still eat her last meal, you know, 4 hours before she went to bed, which is kind of a big deal. You really don't want to eat right before bed, honestly. Oh, here's a question. Oh, Pretty Doves. I lost 165 pounds. Wow. Before low carb, just not keto, and then gained 100 back. Oh, that happens all the time. Yeah. Within 2 years, I would have never thought I'd be 330 pounds again. I know exactly. And it's so scary. It's scary because it's easy. Like the thing is, it's so easy to go back into our old ways. Congratulations on losing that weight before. And if you did it before, you can definitely do it again. It's easy to go back because the holidays come, different things happen, life gets in the way. and you slowly start removing the good habits that you've created, right? And slowly going back to the old habits. Like, just like I said, how I was talking about transitioning into keto, taking your time and moving into the keto lifestyle instead of just going cold turkey. Cold turkey works for some people for sure. But there's other people that they just can't do it, right? You're welcome, Shaky. There's other people who just can't do cold turkey, and that makes sense, right? Because it's all about your personality and who you are. I know for me, I can be an all or nothing person. I've slowly tried to stop myself from being like that, because a lot of times, especially as a parent, and frankly, it's hard to be all or nothing, but I tend to be that way. And so the thing is, what I found is that, going cold turkey sometimes was great for me and sometimes just didn't work for me. And finally, when I transitioned into it, that worked for me. But like I was saying, the way we can transition into keto, we can also transition back into our poor habits, like, so all of a sudden we don't go to the gym, for 2 days in a row, and then 3 days. And then, then you go back, and then now you've gone another 4 days and didn't go, and then you're back. So it happens, and it's so easy. It happens to a lot of people, but you can definitely do it again. You can definitely go back to the habits that you had picked, the healthy habits that you picked up, and you can definitely lose that weight again. And this time you'll keep it off, because now you're determined and you're ready, Oh, that's the other thing I forgot in the challenges. We do weekly weigh-ins, just to keep people accountable, because that's a big deal. Like, what I did was I was on, throughout my life, I've been on every diet you can ever name. Oh, hi, I'm so glad you just joined the challenge. We'll be talking later, I'm sure. Thank you for joining. It's awesome. So my whole life, I've been on every diet, like you name it, from Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, Nutrisystem, Ideal Protein. Well, I did a fake Ideal Protein, but it was still Ideal Protein. Like, every single diet you can ever think of, I've probably been on, except for like that HCG diet. I never did that. But what I'm saying is, I was on all these diets, and the way I developed my program was, yes, you can have one, buddy. Sorry, guys. The way I developed my program was looking through all these different, what did I do? Oh yeah. The way I developed my program was I went through all these different programs that I did, Weight Watchers, and looked at what I liked and what I didn't like, So with Weight Watchers, I liked the fact that you were supposed to chart all your food, track all your food. And I also like the fact that they you weighed in at every meeting every week, right? And you can chart that, and you got your app and things like that. And it was a supportive way for me. It helped me to stay accountable as long as I went to the meetings, right? I like that, what was it? Jenny Craig, you had Jenny Craig and Ideal Protein, you had your own specific coach, right? And I thought, wow, I should implement that into my program. And just so many different things. And so what I did was I combined all those different things that I liked from those different programs and created my own. I was like people were asking me to join their, Herbalife and all those different things. And I said, you know what? No, I want to do my own. I like the idea of creating my own program and showing folks to lose weight the way I lost weight. So that's what I did. It's been hard work. It's been a lot of work. I'm not even gonna pretend, but it's been not beneficial. What's the word I'm looking for? It's been encouraging, and it's been rewarding, because I've been able to help so many other people get healthy. So, and yeah, Level Vision is saying keto diet seems to be popular right now. It is very popular right now. Every TV channel you go to, every station you turn on is talking about the keto diet. It's gotten extremely, extremely popular here lately. I'm not sure why, but frankly, it should have been popular, because it's a healthier way of living. And like, if you go through and you really do research on the keto diet, there are so many health issues and health problems that folks are, I don't want to say cured, but they're going to remission from, I should say, or making major improvements because of the keto diet. Excuse me. In terms of liver health, in terms of all these different things. So you'd be surprised at how many things that it's really helping. Do you think it's okay for people who have high blood pressure and high cholesterol? I do. Oh, hey, Valencia. Hi, just joining. I'm glad you're doing this. Yeah. So keto diet is I'm not a doctor, right? But I do have clients who have high blood pressure and high cholesterol and have actually made some major strides. One of my clients actually was able to be taken off of her medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes. So I mean, it's a thing, I'm not gonna, but you'd have to, you own it. You can do it yourself, right? You can do your research to see all the different all the information on the keto diet and what it's improving. But it's gotten some major changes. I mean, there's epilepsy. It's essentially cured, and this is study out there everywhere. It's been curing kids of epilepsy. I actually know a kid who was cured from epilepsy from the keto diet. Actually, that's how I started doing research on the keto diet. Hi, just joining. I'm glad you're doing this. I just drank a Red Bull and ate candy and I'm healthy. Okay, well, that's what you think. Let me see. I intend to start keto Monday. Fingers crossed. You can do it. Keto is awesome, in my opinion. It's how I lost weight. It's helped me to get healthy. And it really helps like your body to function the way it's supposed to function. Here's the thing. We were told a long time ago that we're not supposed to eat. I mean, that we're supposed to eat all these carbs. And if you start to do your research, you start to find out who sponsored those food pyramids and things that we kept getting pushed on us growing up, and it's frankly, it's not the folks who want us to be healthy. I'm not going to go into exactly who, because sometimes YouTube gets, all into if you mention certain things and certain names. But honestly, the folks who sponsored those original pyramids telling us to eat 40%, 40% bread and stuff like that, that's who is messing us up the most. Now, the thing is, I'm not saying that folks who are vegan or do other ways of eating that include the healthy carbs, meaning sweet potatoes and things like that. I'm not saying that anything's wrong with that. That's just not what worked for me. I continued at a high level when I was doing that. Like when I was 330 pounds, it wasn't like I was eating brownies every day, honestly. I was, yeah, it wasn't like I was eating brownies every day. I was eating, fairly healthy, but I wasn't losing any weight, honestly. But when I started doing keto, it just changed things for me. I felt more energetic. I felt better in general and in life, and that's what it did for me. And that I've seen it do it for other people as well. So, trying to think. Thank you, Stephanie. I don't know what Level Vision was doing. He was just really going for it for a long time. And it's like, okay, let it go. We're good. So let's go back to talking about keto and how to start. So, or, just kind of keto for beginners, right? So again, it's 75% fats, right? It's a diet where your caloric intake throughout your day is about 75% fats, 20% proteins, and 5% carbs. There are people who do 70% fats versus 75% fats. And 25% proteins and 5% carbs. And that's fine too, especially if you work out more. If you're working out, sometimes you need a little bit more protein than folks who are a little more sedentary. You want to get your macros calculated. That's extremely important. Getting your macros calculated. Now, I will say not everyone has done that path. I'm someone who didn't do that path initially, right? I didn't know what macros was when I first started doing keto. I just knew that I had to eat low carbs and that was it, right? And I was in ketosis, and then I started learning more, and I was thinking, man, I sure wish I'd have done it that way. Because that way would probably have been easier. What's the first thing to start out doing? Do we need to fast then start? So that's a great question, Valencia. You don't need to fast into ketosis. Like, some people do fast into ketosis, and that is fine to do, but it's not necessarily, you don't have to do that, right? Because you can also, I actually have a video, my last video I posted talks about the different ways to get into ketosis. It's so funny that you mentioned that, because you can do high fats, moderate protein, low carb, and just start from there and go into keto and get into ketosis. You can start like that, and honestly, that's the way I suggest. because again, that will help you if you're someone who, if you get hungry a lot, the fats help you to the hunger to subside. Also, the protein helps. So, that's probably one of the better ways to get started, is kind of the high fat. Let me see. Marina Bella, I'm so excited that you joined the challenge. You said you joined the challenge, right? I thought, I think you said that. Okay. So, you said, Marina Bella says, when you're on keto, do you always say no to carbs when you go to friends' houses or the family functions? Do you starve or bring your own food? So I plan ahead, right? So it depends on what function I'm at. So for me, I always say day off for Thanksgiving, at least so far, that's what I've said. Day off for Thanksgiving, day off for Christmas. I still make sure that I work out though before those days, just because I want to make sure that I'm still pushing through. So I'll work out up until Thanksgiving and also work out the day after Thanksgiving, and same with Christmas. But I won't necessarily eat keto on those days. Now, those are like major ones, right? Those are major holidays that, the food is always incredible. I'm sorry, I'm looking up. I have two screens, and I can see the words better on the other screen. So I'm looking up to see the words, and then the camera's down here. So I'm sorry about that. But anyways, so those are two major ones where I say, okay, keto break, right? And then, but then I still try and watch my carbs a little bit on those days, just because I don't want to get too far out and then be like, oh my goodness, what did I do? But when I go to friends' houses, for the most part, I'll bring my own stuff, or I'll make sure I'll find out what they have in advance. So like, are you guys ordering wings? What are you guys getting? If you're ordering pizza, then depending on how I feel, sometimes I'll eat just the toppings off the pizza. Or if they're ordering wings, then I'll find out if they're breaded and then eat the wings that they have there. If I go somewhere and I know I'm not sure what they're going to have, I'll bring my own little keto snacks with me. So I keep a bag of almonds in my car just in case. Cause the biggest thing that, that used to mess me up back when I started every diet before was I wouldn't plan. So I'd get somewhere, or I'd leave the house and I think, okay, well, I'm going here, I'm going there, and I'll be back in 20 minutes. And then 2 hours later, I'm still not back, right? Because I've done 5 million other things. And I've also now stopped at, Five Guys or Wendy's or whatever and got something to eat. So what would happen is I would end up kind of messing up my diet doing that. And so now what I do is I make sure I keep a few snacks in my car just in case. So, I just try and plan where I can. But I always have a bag of almonds in my car. I always have a low net carb protein bar in my car just in case. That's like my last resort. Like if I'm somewhere and, oh shoot, I've really messed up. But also I can now, because I'm on keto, I can go to Five Guys too. So, and just do a bunless burger. And that is so good. I don't even want to talk about it because I'll get hungry right now. So let's see. Let me see. What kind of workout would work? Is walking 30 minutes a day a good start? So yeah, when we're looking at working out, right? Because remember, I'm a personal trainer now too, which I'm still really excited about. I cannot believe that, like, I remember, I'm such a tangent person. I go on tangents all the time. So sorry, but I will come back to stuff. So I remember when I was over 300 pounds and I wanted to get a personal trainer. So I got it, you get a free, when you join a gym, you get a free kind of few sessions with a personal trainer, or they give you some special where you pay like $50 and you get 2 sessions or whatever it was, right? So, or I would find a friend and we would split the cost of the personal trainer. But anyway, so I would do that when I first started, right? And I always thought, man, I would love to be the person leading this session. I'd love to be a personal trainer. And so, but in my mind, I thought, as much as I'd love it, it's never going to happen. I'm never actually going to get there. I mean, I'm 300 pounds. It's not happening, right? So when I actually got my certification and like I saw, Ilika personal trainer on there, or certified personal trainer, I literally like broke down crying at the place because I could not believe that had happened for me. I couldn't believe that this dream came true. I still, even now, I'm shocked. But sorry. So going back to your question about 30 minutes of walking before I start crying again, because I'm such a big baby. I don't know if you guys have seen how much I cry in my videos. It's embarrassing, honestly. Um, so, so walking 30 minutes a day, that is a really good start, right? And it's a good start, especially if you're going from sitting down. If you're going from a job or something where you do move a lot, walking 30 minutes a day may not be enough, but it's going to depend on how that walking is. So people are like, well, I walk, 30 minutes a day. I remember I knew someone who would, they do the mall walking. They're like, yeah, me and my friends were walking every day. We're going to the mall. And I'm telling you, we're getting, we're getting a workout in. And I'm like, well, and they'd be like, but I'm not losing the weight. I'm not, nothing's changing about my body. And I'm like, well, first, let's look at your eating. But then also, because, one of the things is diet is, 70%. People say 80, but I'm more of a 60, 70% person of weight loss. Diet is a big portion of weight loss. But also, let's look at what you're doing at the mall. The mall is a flat surface. So when you're doing mall walking, you're walking a flat surface, right? That's not going to help to build the calorie burn, right? So look at how you're walking. If you're walking hills, if you're on the treadmill and you have it at a higher elevation, that's actually going to be more important than how fast you're walking. And I know that sounds crazy. And people are like, well, wait, what about, if I'm running? You can actually burn more calories walking at an incline, than you can jogging at certain paces. So if let's say I'm jogging at, I don't know, 6.0 on the treadmill, and yet I'm walking at it, or versus walking at an incline, a pretty good incline of about 3.0 or 3.2 or something like that, you're actually going to burn more calories on that incline. And you're also using more muscles. Like, think about it. When you're walking on an incline, you're really getting those, your calf muscles are getting hit, your quads are getting hit. I mean, you're getting some good calorie burn. And frankly, anytime you're using your legs, especially at an incline, hitting those major muscles, you're always burning more calories when you do legs. So walking is good, but just make sure it's not just this flat surface walking. Make sure it's at an incline if you can. If you can't get an incline, I guess just speed up, but it's definitely a good start, especially if you go from not really doing much. So again, sorry, back to keto. Now, so keto, yeah, when you first start keto, you want to get your macros calculated. There's different websites that do the macros calculations. I do them on my website. I do macro calculations as well. So it's definitely something that, can be done for you. And you want to make sure that and the macro calculation is going to tell you how many carbs you can have for the day, how many proteins, and how many fats you can have for the day. And so basically everything that you eat, you're going to make sure fits into those macros. And that's going to be really important for you. What else for keto? You want to make sure you understand what is in the different foods that you're eating. Because what happens is you can think, oh, I'm eating keto, right? Because I'm eating, I'm eating an omelet. I had an omelet at IHOP today, and I didn't have the pancakes. So boom, keto, I'm killing it, right? Well, you need to understand the ingredients in your foods. IHOP and actually some mom and pop places now put either pancake syrup or some different fillers, different fillers into their omelets. So now you're eating that omelet, but you're also getting more carbs than you would have just eaten the regular pancakes. So just think about what it is you're eating. Also, you have to think about your cheating, right? Or your ability to maintain and stick to your diet. That's going to be really important. Actually, in my challenge, I don't know if you were on, Valencia, when I mentioned, I have a keto weight loss challenge that I'm starting. It starts on Monday, but folks have joined now and they've gotten the meal plans. You actually get a grocery list on that challenge. It's a 4-week meal plan, 4-week grocery list, weekly weigh-ins. So go if you want to join, you can go to my website. I think it's in the description of this video. Like, if you close the chat for a second, you can go down and see my website and click on it, and you can join the challenge. Because like with this challenge, it's basically going to educate folks on how to do keto, and it's going to how to do keto the healthy way. Because I'm big on, like, some people are eating bacon every day and they're like, I'm keto, and you are, effectively you are, but I don't know. To me, getting all those fats from bacon and those really, really high fat animal products isn't necessarily the greatest way to do it. So I try and teach it and coach it a different way. But yeah, so there's a grocery list in there. And I forgot what I was telling. Oh, so we have to watch the products in our food. We have to watch the ingredients in our food to make sure that we are eating the right way. And we have to watch, we have to understand what a carb is and what's in carbs, because there are vegetables that are actually pretty high in carbs, like carrots have a good amount of carbs in it, and it can pull you out of ketosis, and it can affect your weight loss for that week and for that time. How do I calculate macros? Okay, I think I talked about that. Sounds hard. And is there an app you prefer? It does sound hard. Everything sounds hard at first, but it really becomes easy once it's organized. And that's the thing. That's also part of what I'm doing in the challenge, is trying to organize it for folks. But my favorite app is Lose It. I always like Lose It. That's kind of what I use. But a lot of folks like MyFitnessPal. There's also something called Carb Manager. I've tried them both. For me, Lose It, I always go back to Lose It, but I think it's just because nostalgia, you know. MyFitnessPal is pretty good also. Is working out at home better or at the gym to lose weight? So, Deshaun, you can work out either place and lose weight and get healthy. So I like the gym just because it's just how I've always done it, right? But I also, actually, I can't even say that. The entire time I lost weight, I actually did both. Because there were times, I've mentioned multiple times, if you've ever watched me, I have 4 kids. And they're all young. So sometimes I couldn't get to the gym, you know? And so I would do a lot of different workouts at home, whether it be some workout that I made up, or I'm not affiliated with Beachbody at all, right? But they have an on-demand program. And one of my friends actually is a Beachbody thingy. What is it? Coach, right? Her name is Beast Girl something on Instagram. Shoot, I forgot it. I feel terrible saying it. But she's a Beachbody coach. And Beachbody has this cool thing where you pay like $99 for the whole year, and you can access all their different workouts. So, I mean, I think that's cool. Because I always liked Shaun T stuff. So I would do his workouts, and also like that girl Aubrey. But now I started kind of doing my own and making my own workouts. So a lot of times I end up working out for free to my own YouTube videos. I know it feels weird to say, but yeah, I work out watching myself work out. I work out to my own YouTube videos that I've made, because I've got some workouts list on YouTube as well. One for legs, one for arms, another one that's full body or something like that. Hi, She is Kingdom. So going back to keto and how we go ahead and begin keto, right? Sorry, I love water. So just thinking about, so again, we talked about it's knowing your macros, getting your macros calculated, and putting those into whatever app. So that's going to always be important. And then just staying low carb, you know, and understanding what carbs are. Like I said, carrots are higher in carbs than we realize. It's a vegetable. So we're thinking, oh, I should be able to eat carrots. But you will get pulled out of ketosis a lot of times if you have carrots. And so you just look at different things, right? Obviously, we know not to eat the breads, potatoes, rice. I can't even think of other carbs. Well, sugars, obviously, you know, ice cream, things like that. But also, frankly, milk. I know it sounds crazy, but regular milk has a lot of carbs in it. Something like 12 or 15, which is like all the carbs for the day, pretty much, almost. Like there's like, you can have like 20 in a day, but you know, milk has quite a bit of carbs in it. So you want to think about stuff like that as you're going. So what else? Is there a way to do keto without a lot of fat? Yes. So it's so funny. My last video, I actually talked about that quite a bit. So I actually started keto without doing a lot of fat. And the thing is, so if you are not, if you are someone who doesn't necessarily need how do I want to say it? If you're someone who isn't necessarily always hungry or tempted by food, heavily tempted by food, then you could start the moderate fat version of keto. Like I have clients who don't do high fat keto. Like we started them right in a moderate fat keto. And the reason is because they aren't necessarily heavily tempted by food. So, or heavily tempted in general, and fairly high willpower. That's the thing. If you want to start on a moderate fat keto, your willpower probably needs to be through the roof. The only reason I was able to start moderate fat is because I'd gotten to the point where enough was enough. You know, I'd gotten to the point. I'd done kind of the portion size, portion control thing for about a month or two, and had really stalled out. And then I got to the point where I was like, honestly, enough is enough. I cannot be this size anymore. I saw my daughter. She was only 6 months at the time. And, she was the chubby 6-month-old. And the doctor, every time we took her to the doctor, they were saying stuff like, oh, you got to watch what she's eating. I'm like, she's only on breast milk. Like, what am I going to do? So it's like, I was seeing all those different things. And then it was just making me so nervous because like in my mind, I was thinking she's going to be me one day. And I can't do this. I can't do this to her. And so that's what made me do it. I was like, enough is enough. I cannot be this size anymore. And so the willpower was there for me at that moment. And it had never, even though I have 3 sons before her, which now I feel bad saying that, I never had the willpower before to do it. But because I had the willpower, I was able to go a moderate fat keto. And in doing so, I just didn't add additional fats. And I was starving. If I'm being honest, I was so hungry at the beginning of when I first started keto. I was so hungry all the time. Because the thing is, with the high fats, that fat gives you, like, it helps to fill that hunger. It helps to satiate you. So you're not necessarily hungry all the time. You actually get to the point where you're like, I cannot eat anything. I'm so full. Like after a few weeks, like you get fat adapted and you just can't eat anything. You're just not hungry anymore. But you also get to that point when you do moderate fat keto, because you're in ketosis and your body doesn't need or want as much food as it normally does. But the thing is, so unless you're working out all the time, then you do get hungry even more. But anyways, but the thing is, if you start moderate fat, you will be hungry. You will be hungry more often, but you can do it. It'll get you into ketosis the same way. And you'll still lose weight, and you'll still even have the feelings of ketosis, where the brain clarity, the focus, all those different things will still come on a moderate fat keto. So, but I don't know that a low fat keto would be the best way, because then that's just a weird dynamic, right? Because where are you getting your nutrients from? I guess proteins, like lean proteins only, is my assumption. I'm not sure. So, but yeah, you can do a moderate fat keto, or you can do keto without all the fats. And honestly, especially if you end up doing keto with intermittent fasting, after a while, you won't be eating a ton of fats, because you won't be eating a ton of food in general, right? Because you usually have a window when you do intermittent fasting. Like you can do 12-12s, meaning you eat for 12 hours and you fast for 12 hours, or you can do, you can do whatever you want. But the ones I've always done is 12-12s and 16-8s, right? 16-8s means that I fast for 16 hours and I eat during an 8-hour window. And when doing those, I tended to not be as hungry, because my body got used to it. And also I tend to not eat as much food. I think I have a video up here somewhere of like what I eat in a day, keto and intermittent fasting. So it kind of shows you what I would eat when I was doing that. And I actually have a video of what I eat in a day keto, but I probably was doing intermittent fasting then too, because I tend to, for whatever reason, I think it's between my workout schedule and then trying to deal with the kids and trying to having, working with my clients and things like that, I tend to not end up eating until about noon anyway. So I think just having a busy schedule kind of helps with that now. Before, when I was working in corporate America full time, I was sitting at a desk all day eating everything. So, but I will say, I lost the bulk of my weight. I lost 100 pounds of my weight while I was working full time. It's just getting to the point where you're like, forget this, I'm doing it. Like, I am not going to be this size anymore. Like I tell folks, you have to find your why. What is your why? Because it's so important. You got to get to the point where enough is enough, and you're just going to do it. So like for me, that meant I was going to work out at 5 a.m. every day, and I didn't care. I didn't care that I was tired at night. I didn't care about anything. All I cared about was that I was going to be healthy for my babies. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't, like, I don't even want to, sometimes, like, it's hard for me sometimes to even talk about how I was back then, because it was, um, like, not in, and I have family and friends who are, are overweight still, right? And they don't have the issues that I had. So I'm not saying that everybody has these issues, but for me, I wasn't happy with myself at all. Like, I didn't like look in the mirror. Whenever someone took, I had like 4 before pictures, and like my friends joke, like, "Are you going to use the same before picture again?" Well, that's because every other picture I would be like, "No, take it from here up." Like, only chest up. That's all you can take a picture of. Because I thought my face wasn't that fat, and I thought you couldn't tell how big I was if all you could see was from like the chest up. And that's how 90% of my pictures were. I couldn't walk really, like, and I was a basketball player when I was young, and then like middle school, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, even I was a basketball player, and I couldn't walk. Oh shit! I told you guys I was a baby. Okay, okay, I gotta stop that conversation. I'm such a baby. Yeah, I couldn't walk. I had plantar fasciitis really bad, arthritis and issues in both of my knees, just major, major issues. And I couldn't get up off the couch really well. Every time I walked, I would limp. I was limping. I mean, with 4 kids, it was horrible. So I had to really change things. I had gotten to the point where enough was enough. And she is kingdom. Yeah, if you're at that point, I say go for it. You got to. And the thing is, never give up. That's the other thing. Like, I was always on some diet. Like, my husband he wouldn't laugh at me, but I think he was in the back of his mind, like, okay, another one, another diet. Like, for him, like, he loves me regardless, right? And to him, I think to him it was, I was the same. Like, neither of us noticed. He didn't know how much weight I lost. He didn't really realize it until we looked back at pictures. But like, I think it was like, I got to the point where I was on so many different diets where it was confusing to him what I was doing, like what diet I was doing or how I was eating at the time. And he's like, "Wait, oh, you can't eat this now?" Like, he'd make pancakes and be like, "Oh, you can't eat this now? I'm sorry. I was gluten-free. I thought you could eat it," And I'm like, "No, babe, I can't, because I'm in keto now, or I'm this now, I'm that now." It was always something. So, it just got to be enough is enough. But I think I had hit that point where enough was enough for me, and I did it. So I think if you feel like, you're at that point, I think you do it and you never give up. Like, if you never give up, then you never truly fail. You're always going to be, at some point, you're going to reach it and make it. And why can't that point be now? So, and again, just to everybody on this live right now, if you guys, never give up, keep going, keep pushing, keep striving. If you need help, I've got my challenge starting on Monday. Yeah, on Monday. The challenge starts on Monday. And you can go to the link in this video, in the description of this video, my website. It's lifehealthnow.com. Lifehealthnow, yeah, .com. Lifehealthnow.com. And you can join the challenge. And you'll get so many different things. Oh, you were my first diet bet? I remember. Oh my goodness. I do remember that now. Yes. You should join this challenge. This is different than diet bets, but this is a lot more support. I think there's going to be a lot more support here. But yeah, you should definitely join this challenge. You'll love it. You will love it. I didn't recognize you by the She is Kingdom. Now I remember you. Now I can even see your face and your real name, which I'm not going to say. So yeah. But yeah, you should definitely join this challenge. I don't do the diet bets anymore because I found that the platform that I do it on now, using I use Facebook, but then I also use like my website. It's so much easier. And it's so much more supportive, and it's just a better way of doing it. What's funny? So a lot of folks who joined the challenge weren't on Facebook. And so what I told them to do was make a Facebook page just for the challenge. Don't add any friends to the page, right? Only join the Facebook group. And then the only time when you go on Facebook, all you'll see is the group, because you got no one in your news feed. So you won't get addicted to Facebook, and you'll just see that group. And now you got the support there. So, and then delete your page right after the challenge. So then you're all set, and then you don't have to even think about all whatever it is that comes with Facebook. And don't even use you don't even have to use your real name. Like I've someone in the challenge who's just using a complete fake name. Like the name's like, Sue Rathman, and that's definitely not her name. And but I know who it is because of, the way I set up introduction into the group. But yeah, so you can do that. You can use a fake name and join Facebook under an assumed name. And then, I mean, I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but yeah, join it under like, a pseudonym, which so many people do. So I don't know why I can't say that. Just think about how many names you see on Facebook that aren't real, and then you can join. So, all right. Any other questions? Anything else I can help folks with? Because it's so important to me that we get healthy, just as a world, All right. So thank you guys so much for joining my live and staying to the end, especially. And also, if you want to go check out the challenge, that is awesome. We're having a lot of fun in there. And then also we've got again, meal plans, weekly weigh-ins, which is important. And right now the cash prize is over $500 just because, we've got that many people in the challenge so far, which is really cool. I'm excited about it because I'm just really excited about it. I was overwhelmed and shocked at how many people joined and are really taking it seriously and are looking at the grocery list and going and doing their grocery shopping and looking at the meal plan and already getting their macros calculated and stuff. It's just awesome. So I'm so happy. And I can't wait to get folks started and keep folks getting healthy because it's so important to me. I never want anybody to be where I was. So, all right. Thank you guys so much for watching me, and I'll talk to you guys soon, especially for an impromptu. Thank you. Bye, guys. Oh, sorry. You asked, has it started already? It says it doesn't. It hasn't started already. It started, but not really. So the first weigh-in is January 7th. So if you join today, you get everything that everybody else has. We haven't done any weigh-ins or anything yet. So January 7th is the first weigh-in. And so that's the official start date for the challenge. All right. All right. I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much. Take care. Oops, how do I end?